Hey,
Hey.
making good people defenseless does not make bad people harmless. It's not gun control, it's victim disarmament. Help us fight back and become a member of San Diego County Gun Owners. We make activism easy, so join today. Go to sdcgo.org/join and sign up to be a member. Together, we will win.
That's the important thing, Dave. We make activism easy.
Yes, we do.
I think there's a lot of people that are frustrated, mad, and they don't know what to do. And they want things to change.
Yep.
They don't know how to do that.
I know. I'm right there with you.
And we try to set up things for you to do.
To make it easy.
To make it easy. All you got to do is parachute in.
Yep.
You know, we get it all set up. And we usually give you a free T-shirt.
You have a fan.
Why is she laughing at
I don't know, but she's standing in the window and she's pointing.
Just laughing.
Yeah,
What?
parachute in. You know how to parachute?
In.
Do you know how to parachute? Hey, I'm going to give you all the information to come to the.
Yeah, you got to come to the Christmas party.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have an ugly sweater?
I got a lot of them.
Okay, good.
So the Christmas party, that's a good transition. That was a horrible transition.
You have an ugly sweater.
So what we're going to do is on the 14th, if you go to our website, SDCGO.org.
14th of December.
On the 14th of December, I think doors open at, I want to say 5:30 or 6 o'clock, but figure 6 o'clock and then look at the website.
Yeah, but
SDCGO.org.
where is it? It doesn't tell you on the
address
flyer.
is on the flyer.
It is not.
I'm going to bet you $10 right now. I'll bet you a Coke. I'll bet you a Coke right now.
You know what? It is on the flyer, but I don't know. But what is it?
Look at that.
Is it a house? Is it a hotel?
It's a.
Is it an Airbnb?
It's just a junkyard, and we're just going to take
Oh,
over.
well, hell, I love junkyards.
I know you'd actually probably
I'll
like
be
that.
there, Freddie.
One of our 10 Ring members, Aaron Petroff, he has his office there, and they have this enormous conference room that like opens up into like a lounge area, and they're going to have their Christmas tree up and everything. So we're going to take over the whole thing.
Do you have a jacuzzi?
No.
What?
Why would there be a jacuzzi?
I like jacuzzi. You should have a jacuzzi.
I would be awesome.
Put it in your Jeep.
That would be awesome. That would be very awesome.
That'd be better.
Just pull over.
Yeah.
Traffic's bad. Just like pull over. I'll just wait this out.
Just don't hit the brakes real hard. Okay, so it's going to be in his office.
It's going to be, well, yeah, they have like this huge conference room. It's big enough for hundreds of people. It's close to Sorrento Valley is where it's close to.
Okay, you got that? Sorrento Valley.
So basically where the 805 and the 5 split. If you're like a glass is half full, it's where they come together.
I know right where you're talking about. It's down there on the left.
It's not where they split, Dave. It's where they come
together. I like
That's
that.
what we're going to do.
I like the way you're
going to come together and have a Christmas party. Anyway, you can win some guns. I understand there's going to be a high-quality air rifle that looks like
just
an M14.
Donated by Mr. Stahl.
That's awesome, Dave. And there's going to be some firearms there. There's going to be all kinds of cool things. There's going to be eggnog. And we might even bring a little rum. You could spike your eggnog. Okay. And there'll be a burger truck, like a food truck.
A roach coach?
A little better than a roach coach.
Okay.
Like a little better than a roach coach.
All right.
Anyways, and it's going to be a good time. The cool thing is it's totally free. So a 10.
Not the food. You got to buy the food.
Got to buy the food. Got to buy the, if you want to participate in the prizes.
Raffle tickets.
The eggnog's free. And the camaraderie's free.
And the hugs are free.
The Second Amendment's not free. You got to fight for that. So you got to show up and help us.
I know.
Anyway, but if you just want to show up, have some eggnog, shake some hands, say hello to some movers and shakers, that's totally free. But yeah, burgers are for purchase.
How late do we go?
I don't know, like 10, 11. Doesn't matter. You know what I mean? As soon as everybody leaves. But there will be an ugly Christmas sweater contest.
What do you win?
A prize.
You don't even know yet.
An amazing prize.
A ride and a Jeep.
The most important thing you win is you win the ability to brag for the next year.
Because I spent money on an ugly sweater.
So did I. I think I don't know.
Did you really?
I don't know if mine's not. Here's my prediction. My sweater,
not
particularly ugly. I think it'll make people go, ha ha ha. Kind of give you that.
Wait till you see mine.
I'm expecting big things from you.
You're gonna love it. I can't wait to tell you. And
even your pretty sweaters are kind of ugly.
You won't even. Well, I don't. I'm not a sweater guy per se.
No, I know.
Are you a sweater guy?
No.
Kind of like wearing a car cover.
No, you can't be a big guy and wear a sweater. You look creepy.
Ooh, yeah, I never even thought of that.
Yeah, you look creepy.
Hey, did you watch the debate the other night? I noticed it's not on the itinerary.
It's actually the next 3 segments we're going to talk about.
Okay. Did you watch it?
Yeah, we're actually going to play.
Did you watch it?
Yes.
All of it?
I watched the whole
I
thing.
threw up 3 minutes in, and I went to dinner.
So the next like 2-3 segments, we're actually going to play the section where they talk about guns and crime.
Oh, that's what that
is. Thank you for reading the agenda.
I didn't want to listen to it. I thought it was a
well,
surprise.
we're going to play some of it. We're going to talk about it because I think it was.
There's no words.
Newsom is a sociopath.
No. He's a used car salesman.
That's an insult to used car salesmen all over.
He is a sociopath.
He is truly. I mean, I couldn't believe that he just stood up there and lied. But anyway, we're going to spend a couple seconds on that.
All right.
Because I think it's important, especially like I said, the gun section and the crime section, which they kind of put together,
and the immigration section and the tax section and the gas section.
Well, we're not going to talk a whole lot about taxes and gas and stuff. That's a different radio show.
Oh yeah, that was mine.
Did you guys talk about it?
No, because I was saving it for you.
Okay, gift giving for gun owners. Have you considered training? We have this big holiday coming up.
Yep.
Christmas, and of course, there's also Hanukkah and Kwanzaa. You give gifts on all three. So, have you considered training
As a gift certificate?
as a gift?
How sweet.
CCW USA Stronghold Dynamic, San Diego Firearms School, Mike Pettingill from Personal Protection Academy, and Paragraph 2 are all offering gift certificates, basically the gift of training. So if you want to give the gift of training this year, check them out, and you can give your loved ones the gift that keeps on giving. And it never goes away. The knowledge that they obtain from going to these classes will never go away. So give the gift of training this year. Vote for Gun Owners Radio on the Gundies. So all you got to do is Google Gundies, and we were nominated. Gun Owners Radio was nominated for a Gundy.
What's
second straight year? Second straight
for
year.
the second straight year.
What's a Gundy?
It's like it's
an Oscar?
It's exactly like an Oscar.
It's the Oscars of gun social media sites.
Yeah, that's exactly what
it's
it
really
is.
cool.
I think we're like one of the only ones that's actually on a radio show.
Yeah, everyone else is a podcast. We're actually on AM and FM
Why do
radio.
you think I fight so hard to stay on radio?
Well, what I'm saying is we should get like they should be there should be an award for actual AM radio.
They should,
and
be.
we should just win every year.
Well, we would. So what do you get? What do you
we're nominated for top voices in the 2A.
What do you get?
I think you just get an award.
No.
What do you mean?
No money?
No
cars?
money.
No guns?
No.
She get a gun.
We're not. Hey,
Right.
we were.
Alisha just showed up.
Hi, Alicia.
Doesn't she smell good?
How are you? She does smell good.
She really smells good.
I think I smell like the sandwich I had for lunch. So I was
haven't
really
had a
self-conscious.
sandwich, but
I think
I
that's
would
even
smell.
better.
Be honest, you guys. Do I smell like a cheesesteak?
Actually, you do.
I kind of do, right?
Kind of.
I'm so
a little
embarrassed.
cheesy too.
So nice that Alicia came in with like this trail of.
What are you wearing?
Yeah,
What is it?
It's some body spray my daughter gave me. No clue.
nice job.
Well, you just let people spray you whenever they feel like
Pretty
it.
much, yeah.
Okay.
And then you remember when you go into the stores? And
Oh,
there'd just
yeah,
be like
yeah,
a
yeah.
line of women. They'd say like some adjective and then spray you.
I used to go in before I'd go on a date. Go into the counter.
Freak loan.
you would go. Well, you'd be like,
Well,
listen,
yeah, if I'm going on a
you'd be like,
date,
you got to call her. Like, look, I'm going to be about 5 minutes late.
got to stop by
I
Macy's.
got to go by Macy's and get sprayed.
Well, I couldn't go to Walmart.
I don't know what to say.
Well, you
I don't know what to say.
No, Walmart spray is not good. Macy's the best.
You want a second date? Yeah, Macy's.
Oh, there is that. Gun owners, listen up. If you ever have legal matters that involve firearms, you need California's best firearms lawyer and that means John Dillon. He could help you with red flag laws, gun registration, gun transportation, or maybe you just need to know that your guns are California compliant. John Dillon specializes in California gun laws, so put his number on your phone right now. 760-642-7150, 760-642-7150.
So, I don't know if you watched a couple days ago, they had Sean Hannity on Fox News had a debate between Gavin Newsom, governor of great state of California, the formerly great state of California, and Ron DeSantis, who's the governor and also presidential candidate, but he's the governor of Florida.
Newsom's the presidential candidate.
Well,
he's just ghosting it.
So why else would they have? Like, why would they have a debate?
Why would they agree?
You know, why is Newsom doing that?
Yeah.
You know, there's something up, right?
Right.
Well, according to Newsom, he said it was to defend Biden and his policies.
Oh,
but I know.
please.
That's malarkey.
Delusional.
I thought they really made it. And it's not unusual for debates to just kind of pop up. I mean, you know, they used to have debates. You know, they would just travel around and debate each other. You know, they weren't necessarily running for anything, or might have just been two political rivals. Barry Goldwater we used to debate. You know, anyway,
Debate anything.
but it actually turned into a red state versus blue state.
That was the
State.
that was
Or,
the presence or the
debate.
presence. That's what they wanted it to be.
Which is better? You got two forms of government, or maybe not forms of government, two emphases when it comes to government. You know, which one's winning? Mm-hmm. And
Or which one do you want to be part of?
yeah, really, which one's better? You know, which one do people think is better? And I said before the debate on my personal Facebook, I said the guy that you like
Is going to win.
that's the guy who
I know, I've
is
seen
gonna
that.
win. I mean, that's really what it boils down to.
I didn't listen to the left to hear what their response, what they thought of the debate. Did you look?
If you go out there and watch, there are YouTube videos, there are articles. If you watch the videos and you watch and read the articles, you would think
It's exactly what you said.
that
The guy you liked won.
yeah, you would think that Ron DeSantis could barely get a word in edgewise. You would think that
That was true.
that Newsom completely clobbered him. You would think that Newsom won
If you listen to the left.
if you listen to the left. So all right, whatever. Now, if you listen to the right, guess what you think?
Exactly.
Now, where's the truth?
Well, the truth, I mean, I hate to say it,
Somewhere in the middle.
but I think Hannity spent some money and put some signage up with numbers.
Yeah,
Newsom never disputed the numbers.
yeah.
He just slammed DeSantis on whatever else he could slam him on.
I think if you break it down, what we're going to do is we're going to listen to the section where they talk about guns and they talk about crime here. But as we're doing that, I really think that if you stand back and you don't look at it through a bias, if you evaluate it from a purely like, hey, how did they handle the debate? How did they did they do the things that someone in a debate should do? Did they get a message across? Did they have an impact?
What do you think the White House's response was?
I think Newsom won that. I think that if you look at it as which did red states win or did blue states win? Like, which is an actual better way of life?
Yeah.
Then I think DeSantis won. Without
a doubt.
But I think that DeSantis has the same problem that Republicans have, in that they're really good at statistics, a lot of facts on their side,
Right.
and he didn't connect with people. There was no big quotable moment.
Well, and he didn't really. Yes, there is. There's one.
What is it?
I was talking to a gentleman that moved out of California.
Yeah, I was going to say the exact one as you started.
Came to Florida. And he
His
likes
father-in-law?
the tax. It was his
Newsom's,
father-in-law.
yep.
But see, DeSantis, correct me if I'm wrong, I only watched 3 minutes, threw up, and then went to dinner. But DeSantis never said what he's going to do to fix anything.
I think that so I think you're right. I think Newsom beat up on DeSantis in like a personal way.
Sure.
And DeSantis beat up on Newsom in a statistical way.
Statistical way. But
And
neither one of them had any.
looked like a leader.
Yeah, but neither one said, here's what I'm going to do for you if you elect me. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to close the border. We're going to do this. We're going to do that.
But
Did you watch it too?
I saw
Alisha?
part. I saw part. I didn't see it the whole.
Did you get more than 3 minutes?
No.
Yeah, okay.
No.
So here's what we're going to do. Let's play a little bit, and then we're going to stop and talk about it as we go. All
very
right?
good.
So without further ado,
Dum-ba-dum.
start the video.
Start the
All
video.
right, welcome back to the great blue state, red state debate with Governor Gavin Newsom, Governor Ron DeSantis. Again, thank you both for being here. We're going to take a little breathing room. I don't mind the debate taking on a life of its own, but let each other breathe. I don't want to be the hall monitor. Please don't turn me into that. Anyway, let's look at the issue of crime. FBI numbers violent crime nationally for each of your states. Keep in mind, this statistic shows what is the combined rate of homicide, rape, robbery, aggravated assault, the year 2022. On the national level, the rate was 380.7 offenses per 100,000 people. In California, meanwhile, the rate was much higher, 499.5 offenses per 100,000. In Florida, lower, 258.9 offenses per 100,000.
Okay, stop.
Governor Newsom, let me start with.
So that's devastating information.
Devastating.
I think that there isn't a person out there. You know, it's not like it's even close. I mean, what they did is, what it sounds like to me, that what that statistic represents is how many times, you know, they're talking about violent crime. So they're talking about sexual assault. They're talking about robbery, murder. They're talking about assault. You know, how many times does somebody actually get beat up? That is such a functional number, you know, and they broke it down to how many incidents per 100,000. That's such a that number is, and I think that this, and we're going to listen to what their response was, but there should have been a better job, especially by DeSantis. He should have been able to do a better job at really painting that this is life. Like, this is rubber meets the road stuff. This isn't, you know, like, this isn't theoretical. This isn't stuff that's going to happen in 30 years. Like, gee, are you saving enough for retirement? You know, this is right here, right now. You walk outside your door. Here's what you can expect when it comes to getting beat up, sexually assaulted, robbed, or killed. You know, I mean, this is a real number,
right?
And the way, and it was you know, it was FBI numbers. It wasn't like it was.
It's not like somebody made them up. It wasn't Fox News. It wasn't CNN. These are hard numbers,
real data, and I had no idea. That it was that California was so much worse than the rest of the country. It's not surprising, though.
You don't watch.
Well, we're acclimated to it. We're used to it.
You think so?
I think so.
I think it's because the state is so big and so spread out, we just don't run. And do you ever go any place in San Diego that you know you shouldn't go to?
No.
And that there's a lot to be
like McDonald's,
your house,
that steak sandwich I had for
your
lunch.
neighborhood.
I don't. There are places I avoid.
Yeah.
Like, what's a place you avoid? Is there any place that you truly don't you avoid?
Well, you know,
you go to?
you know, you kind of go back to. Well, I go downtown on occasion, but you know, when I go
At night?
that's the thing. I was
Wearing
going to say you kind of pick.
I don't think you should.
So you kind of pick your time and your place, and you know, there are certain places that are not okay to go anytime. You know, personally, and then there are other times to where it may be okay in the daytime, but stay away at night.
You don't care because you're carrying.
Well, no, I do.
Care, yeah.
I do care.
But I'm just saying,
prison orange is not my color.
But you care better. You care better. You care better because you carry. Just think if you didn't carry.
If I don't think I would make any decisions any differently. I don't.
Really?
I don't. No, I don't take the fact that I carry to be
any more protective.
No. I mean, I still am going to make the wise decisions, because here's the thing: just because I carry gives me the ability to have an additional tool to protect myself, but it's not a free pass to get out of jail when you do so.
You feel that way?
I think it's almost the other way. There are places where I'm just like, it's almost the other way for me. And I have the feeling there are a lot of gun owners who agree with me, where they're just like, I've thought to myself, I'm not going to go downtown because I'm carrying. And I don't even, you know what I mean?
Oh, because you don't want the confrontation.
Yeah,
when you
I don't,
carry,
you know?
you have to start living a life of de-escalation. You got to kind of start thinking things through, because when you have that additional tool, you have an additional liability.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go downtown and get harassed or beat up or robbed or anything. I really don't want to if I have a gun, you know?
Yeah, because you never know what the end result could be.
Yeah, I don't want to, like she said, I don't want to wear orange. I don't want to deal with it.
Because you're both really good shots.
But I think she's probably
she's way better.
Little better than me, but you know, we'll see. We should have a shoot off. We should have a gun owners radio shoot.
My God. You could win something.
God, no, I'm so
Shorter
rusty.
hat.
I don't even remember where the trigger is. I've been so long I've been on the range. Okay, so I had no idea it was so bad. I mean, it's twice as bad as Florida. Twice as bad.
But did Newsom even acknowledge it?
Well, let's listen.
Governor Newsom, let me start with you. Your numbers are way higher than the national average. How do you explain that when safety and security, I would argue, is a prerequisite for the pursuit of happiness?
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. We're near 50-year lows, down 55% violent crimes in the state of California from the 1990s. And I want to compare and contrast that with the issue in Florida that you didn't mention, and that's the murder rate. And let's broaden it more broadly. The issue is 7 of the top
Those numbers
10,
were part of the murder rate. 7
of the top 10 murder rates in the United States of America are red states. He has a 66% higher gun death rate than the state of California. He has a higher murder rate. Go to places like Jacksonville. Go to places like Orlando. Go to places like Tampa. The murder rate's off the charts compared to cities like San Francisco. And you know what? Even more egregiously, Sean, and I think this is important, the American people deserve an answer from you, Ron. You had one of the worst mass shootings in American history, Parkland. 17 kids were gunned down, lives lost, 17 others, lives torn asunder. You had a young girl by the name of Jamie Gutenberg, whose father pleaded with you to do something about it. And you know what you did? You did the exact opposite. You made it easier for felons to get guns without background checks, without any training.
Hold it.
These people.
Hold it.
He's so far off the track. First off, he said that this victim's father was begging him to do something, and he did the opposite. Well, the opposite of doing something would be doing nothing, and he didn't do nothing. We had what's his name, Andy. Andy, what was his last name? Meadows' father.
Meadows' dad.
Yeah, and they passed laws that hardened schools, strengthened security at schools. They actually did very effective things. Okay, number one.
Learn to fly. Get your pilot's license. San Diego is one of the best places to get your airplane pilot's license because pilots can fly almost every day. Learn to fly with San Diego Flight Training International. Gun owner radio listeners, check this out. You get 1 hour ground flight school with an instructor. That's right, you get to fly. That's a $400 value, but we're going to cut you a deal at $350. Give them a call, 858-569-1822. Learn to fly with SDFTI. That's 858-569-1822. You had to put airplane prior to pilot.
Yeah, just in case. People don't know.
I was good.
Airplane pilot.
Okay. Sounds good. Let's go back to your brother.
I was going to say, one thing I noted is he made his comparison when he was comparing the numbers of California versus Florida. He chose to use, was it San Francisco that he used as his mark?
Yeah.
Why not Oakland?
Why not LA? Why not LA?
Right.
Well,
because he knows better.
I think he did something that was very smart. He picked a weakness of the opponent and hammered away at it.
Well,
and it was a pretty good weakness.
He's not stupid.
Like I said, if you look at it from a skill set point of view, he out-debated him.
He's been to the Pelosi school of debating.
Yeah, I mean he's one of the best liars out there.
Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt.
So, but here's a question I have. Okay, so the numbers are twice as bad in California. So if you had, and by the way, the murder rate isn't that much worse in Florida than it is in California, but it is worse. So if you had a choice between a state where you were twice as likely, you were almost basically just as likely to be the victim of a murder, but you were twice as likely, to be the victim of a beating, robbery, some other violent, maybe you didn't get murdered. Maybe you just got beaten silly, or whatever, stabbed, attempted murder, which is better.
Yeah.
So you're slightly safer when it comes to actual murder.
Right.
Slightly, but twice as bad when it comes to everything else. I don't think, I think it was very smart of him to point that out. Mm-hmm. But okay, so Florida, they actually did something, and they've done a really good job of hardening the schools. But I think that's a philosophical difference, right? When you look at the situation was that there was a mass murder at a school, which is horrible and tragic and
without a doubt
unacceptable. And then you have two philosophical differences. Do we protect the kids? Do we do a better job? We say, hey, they were unprotected. We need to do a better job of hardening the schools and protecting them, or do we take away tools from not just criminals, everyone?
Everyone.
And of course, the philosophical difference, it got lost. I think
Florida did something about it.
They're not taking them away from everyone. They're taking them away from the law-abiding citizens.
Right.
The criminals still have them.
And Florida did do something, but Newsom
100%.
has never done a thing except take away the tools to
Law-abiding
protect.
citizens.
If I can add one more thing, I just looked it up. California has double the amount of school shootings this year compared to Florida. That's how sad this is.
So clearly it was effective. But okay, so we're looking at two different things, right? We're looking at which is really true. The everyman. Which would the everyman think was better? I think Florida is better. I think you're in a better environment with those numbers,
Without a doubt.
But now, if you're looking at the skill set, I think that in that situation, I think that Gavin Newsom out-debated him. He did a good job of picking up, on a weakness and then running the ball, and we'll watch that it's not coming back.
Okay, so you're not saying that you were convinced what Newsom said versus what DeSantis said.
Absolutely not.
He just did a better job debating.
At the skill of debating.
The skill. Okay, I just want to make sure all my folks out there that live in Alpine understand that.
So at the skill of debating. So what happened was a very damaging piece of information was put in front of them.
Right.
Okay. And
one handled it better than the other.
And one handled it better. The guy who it benefited, he didn't take that ball and run with it. He didn't make it benefit him enough. He did like a B- or a C+ job. Right. Where I think that Gavin Newsom, that is extremely damaging, and the way he handled it was like a B+. I mean, he actually did a good job.
If not an A-, because he made it sound like it wasn't as bad as what was portrayed.
Right.
And that was his job.
Yeah.
I think that's always been his job.
Right.
Okay, so let's keep going.
These people pleaded with the parents and the families to get tough on gun safety, and again, you made it easier for felons. He said of you, Ron, and I agree with him, after you signed that concealed carry bill, which increases the likelihood, Fred Guttenberg said, of more Jamies losing their lives and more Parklands, he called you weak, pathetic, and small. So with respect, I appreciate you're talking to police officers in the state of California. You may want to spend a little bit more time, not on the Ohio Trail and other places across this country. You may spend a little more time back in your home state and address the murder and gun violence in your own backyard.
So this is the slick politician. You put up the rates. He has 500 per 100,000. Florida is 250. So that's almost twice as much. And he's trying to spin that to say California's doing good. People are leaving California in droves, largely because public safety has collapsed. They have, I mean, you go, when Californians come to Florida, one of the things they'll say, it's almost like an out-of-body experience. They can go to the store, get toothpaste off the shelf, pay for it, and leave, because in a lot of these places in California, everything's under lock and key because they've basically legalized retail theft. They have chosen in California to put the interests of the criminals over public safety.
Okay, stop.
They treat...
That was an excellent line.
I thought so.
Putting the interest of criminals over public safety.
Which is true.
Right.
Yeah, that was excellent.
Absolutely.
And I think that's something that's relatable. Like
so we'll give him an A on that.
We'll give him an A on that for sure. But that's something where it's like, I get that. I understand what he's saying. He's saying when I leave my door, when I go out my door, when I go somewhere, I'm in danger. And the state of California is more worried that the criminals don't get mistreated.
Right.
I think that's very relatable, and
that was a very good point.
He slammed it. I thought it was interesting though. Gavin Newsom said you make it easier for felons to get guns. Well, felons can't have guns. It's just full.
And what's a concealed carry got to do with the felon?
Exactly.
That's another philosophical difference, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Where he sees people carrying guns to defend themselves as part of the problem.
Right.
How many CCW holders have been involved in a mass shooting,
right,
or a school shooting?
None.
Or criminal activity in general? Very, 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 very few.
Well, I'd say none.
Well, the first two, none. But I mean, do CCW holders, have they ever, broken a law? I'm sure they've broken a law. But
self-defense.
But as far as like mass shootings and and school shootings and mass murder, that sort of
thing. They don't go get a CCW
CCW
prior to a mass shooting.
In fact, CCW holders, on average, commit fewer crimes than the general population. They commit fewer crimes than cops as a subgroup. In fact, a number of mass shootings have been prevented or halted thanks to CCW holders, including the school shooting here in Santana. Now, he was actually an off-duty cop, but he was off-duty and he was carrying concealed.
Right.
Yep.
You know, he was there picking up his daughter, if memory serves.
Right.
And if there were more people who were able to
Like him.
be able to do that, right? I mean, really back then in San Diego, the only way, you know, there were very few people that were able to carry.
Right.
Well, even in Parkland, if the teachers were allowed to carry,
Yeah.
none of that would have happened.
Well, so many cases, so many situations,
But he lies so well.
Of course he does.
He could sell you a car with no engine and tell you you'll get great gas mileage.
That's pretty much California.
Yeah, you won't have to
California
put any money in the car.
California is a car with no engine.
That's exactly right. I
All
mean,
right.
the guy's slick. You got to give him that.
All right, let's keep rolling.
They treat, they're easier on sex offenders. They're easier on all these crimes that are leading to a collapse in the quality of life. And if you just walk around San Francisco, you will see, and I think it's interesting, Gavin Newsom was mayor of San Francisco. So he took the San Francisco model, turned that into a template for California's collapse. Now the left wants to take the California model and use that as a template for America's collapse. We cannot let that happen.
Wait, I got to, Governor, no, I got a follow-up question. You brought up
Jacksonville, Florida, compared
Governor,
to San Francisco, is 126% higher.
Governor,
in
let me bring up your,
it's 84%
the next question
higher.
dovetails
in
into
Tampa,
this.
It's 75% higher. What?
Let me also say,
what are you talking about
you're
when it
just
comes to
jabbering.
this?
I know you like
just
to jabber.
By the way, those
I
are
know you
all
like
easily
I know you like
fact-checked.
to lie.
Anytime you're uncomfortable,
He put the statistics up there.
Those are all
your
facts.
crime is
What
higher.
Are you doing about
we know
the
your
gun
crime's
murder rate
higher.
Gentlemen,
We know
gentlemen,
What are you
I'm
doing
going to move
about
on.
the gun murder rate in your state?
We'll let the audience. We'll let the audience look at the
And I think
numbers,
it's
the
shameful
FBI
what you
numbers, and
did
decide.
to those
According
Parkland
to the
families.
gun control advocacy group, every town for gun safety.
Yep.
Okay, California has the most, as you support, I know, Governor, restrictive gun laws in the United States.
Yes.
Florida has the 19th most restrictive. Yet, if you look at the year 2019, when each of you took office, California has had 21 mass shootings. Florida has had 9. Now, that is according to a USA Today, AP, Northeastern University database data. Keep in mind, a mass killing is defined as the intentional killing of 4 or more victims, excluding the deaths of unborn children and the offenders by any means within a 24 period of time. I believe Governor DeSantis should get this first.
Okay, so a couple things there. So I really want to hammer this point because I know there's a lot of people that are out there going, Mike's a jerk. He just hates Republicans. And clearly DeSantis won because he said things I agree with. Okay, well, here's an example of what I'm talking about when I say that DeSantis should have done better or could have done better.
He missed some opportunities.
He missed some major opportunities, but just the way he phrased it, he said California. So he was talking about how Newsom has totally screwed up California, that you're less safe in California. There's more crime in California. Criminals are coddled. And then he said that they want to take the California way and use it as a template across the United States. Nobody talks like that. Like he should have, said something that really says, the lack of safety that you experience, the fact that you might get hurt, your friends and your family
doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, your friends and family who might get sexually assaulted or beaten or killed. He wants to take all the policies, all the laws and everything that may lead to that, and they want to put it right in your backyard so that you and your family are less safe. Really hammer it home. Like, hey, I care about families who are paying their taxes and abiding by the law. I care about it. It's not fair that people in California have to put up with this. Had he really tried to bring it down, personalize it, tugged on heartstrings, I think he would have done a whole lot better. But the other thing is the fact that California's had far more mass killings. Now notice he didn't say mass shootings.
Killings.
He said mass shootings. Now I don't know. They may have been shootings, maybe all of them. But the fact is that the things that they're trying to do to stop these mass shootings in California aren't working. Period. End of story.
And and California has more laws than any other state in the union.
By far.
Hey, Riverside and San Bernardino. Even with the Bruin case, the gun grabbers are getting more desperate. Let's face it, all these laws disarm only the people that would use a gun to defend themselves. Fight back and do something to defend your Second Amendment right. Join Inland Empire gun owners right now. We're growing the 2A community. and are getting more pro 2A officials elected. Membership is only $10 per month, so you can join, and it's super easy. Just go to iegunowners.com/join.
Okay. So, all right, let's keep rolling. We're talking, or we're listening to and talking about the debate between Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, and Gavin Newsom, failure in California. All right, go ahead.
I believe, Governor DeSantis, you get this first. Go ahead.
What California wants to do is they want to make it harder for law-abiding citizens to defend themselves. Then they go easy on the criminals who are perpetrating the crime. They don't stand up for the men and women of law enforcement. That's why a lot of people have left the state, because they don't get the support from the communities that they need. And, you know, Gavin told another lie. He said we made it easier for felons to do. Felons are not allowed to possess firearms. That's federal law. That's been long-standing.
No background checks.
That is an absolute lie that he's saying like that. That has nothing to do with buying or purchasing a weapon. So that's just a lie.
No background checks for CCWs. That's factually untrue.
Totally untrue.
That I don't know what background checks he was talking about, but he just specifically said CCWs.
No, the felons totally don't have background checks.
Well, no, they don't in any state.
That's what he was saying. He's saying the felons don't get background checks.
It's unbelievable, this guy. You know, one of the other things he kept talking about is he kept trying to imply that there wasn't a mass exodus from California.
Yeah.
And I heard, this was from, it was federal government numbers, but it was Reform California put it out. It was something like 3.5 million people have left California.
You know how hard it is to find a U-Haul? Because they're all going
I
out,
was just
going to
say, U-Haul made him Employee of the Year.
And they truly, you know, I know they ran out of
have you looked at prices? Okay, if you take a U-Haul trailer or truck out of the state of California, it's over $1,000.
Wow.
If you bring it back, it's $300-400.
Yeah, I believe it.
I'm serious.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 3.5 million people. Now, that's not net. That's gross. If you look at like, okay, well, how many people have left California? Because, you know, people are still coming into California from other countries
yeah, other countries.
And some other states. 3.5 million people. And, you know,
that's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people. I mean, it's you know, that's like 10% of the population, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I'm doing the math right, there's like 35 million people here. But what surprises me, and this is anecdotal, this isn't math, or this isn't statistics. It's not reliable. But the amount of people I talk to, I just talked to 3 people over the weekend who are discontinuing their membership with San Diego County Gun Owners because they're moving. And all 3 of them are lifelong Californians. Mm-hmm. And the amount of people I know who were born and raised in California and are leaving is unreal.
I hear a minimum of 1 a day that are leaving.
Oh, yeah.
More than that.
Well, I'm saying a minimum.
That you hear.
If I'm at a restaurant,
Oh, yeah.
I'm either overhearing it or they're saying it to me, I'm leaving.
There's whole Facebook groups surrounding it, too.
Yeah.
Yep.
A friend of mine, she's Utah, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The lady that owns Janet's that makes you your pecan pie.
That is good.
She moved up there. Her her sons moved up there.
Yeah.
And people are just
and
leaving.
These are, but what strikes me is, you know, these aren't people that like, well, you know, I'm originally from wherever and I just came here for whatever. Californians, born and raised.
Well, because when you have it
second,
made,
third, fourth
when you
generation,
have it made, and then all of a sudden now you're in a third world country.
Yeah.
Which we are in a third world country when you really stop and think about it.
The other thing he said was that Newsom implied was that more people were coming from Florida to California.
That is such a lie.
And Reform showed that the numbers were something like twice as much. It was like 27,000 versus 58,000 or something like that. So it's just not true. It's just not telling the truth. All right, keep going.
Another lie that's coming up. But here's the thing. People are leaving California in droves because he has failed to stand up for public safety. They are on an ideological joyride to let people out of prison early, to go easy on them. Heck, your buddy, Gavin's buddy in Los Angeles, Gascon, he doesn't even prosecute. When I was in Southern California for the Reagan debate, a lot of the women tell me they have to take off all their jewelry just to be able to go shopping, because otherwise they're going to get mugged. That is the reality that people are facing in California. Gavin can try to put lipstick on that pig, but the fact of the matter is he has failed the people of California.
Governor Newsom.
No, I love this guy talking about backing the blue when you dangled pardons for January 6 insurrectionists, 85 of them that were literally charged with attacking law enforcement. You talk a big game about backing the blue. With all due respect to the crime rate, again, he's not answering the fact that he has a higher murder rate than the state of California, a 66% higher gun death rate than the state of California. And I can easily answer this point. Gun safety saves lives. I don't think it, I know it. And the data bears that out in the state of California. California proudly does lead in terms of common sense gun safety. Common sense gun safety saves lives. You had the chance to do something meaningful. You had a chance to do something on behalf of those Parkland families. You did the exact opposite. You moved in the exact opposite direction. With all due respect, look at your own backyard, Ron.
So
You're
I
not
will
mining your backyard on this issue.
I will do that because we have we had two radical left Soros district attorneys, like your buddy Gascon in LA, one in Tampa, one in Orlando. They were endangering the public, and I removed them from their posts. Gavin Newsom has not lifted a finger to rein in Gascon in LA. That city has collapsed. That county's collapsed because he is not enforcing the law. So that's just the and here's the thing. This is what's happening. That California model, that's been done in Philadelphia, Baltimore, all
15 seconds. We got to go break.
Come on. I mean, you're running for president of the United States. You're talking down the great state of California. You're talking down one of the great American cities, Los Angeles. That's insulting. And you're doing it because you're trying to obfuscate the facts that you have a higher murder rate in the state of Florida and the state of California.
Look at him hammer that. He picks up that one bone and won't let go of it, will he?
Right.
Higher murder rate, higher murder rate, higher murder rate.
It's not true.
Well, I think it probably is true that it's a higher murder rate, but it's also everything else, is higher in California. What were you about to say?
I'm curious. He keeps touting gun safety. How does he define gun safety and how it's safe?
Well, those are gun laws. He just didn't use the right word.
Yeah,
does he even know what?
No,
he has no
he doesn't.
It was like his whole. It was. I wonder if the speculation is that he wants to. I think he's going to run for president. I don't think. I'm not one of these people that thinks he's going to run for president in 2024. I don't think that. I don't think that's going to happen. I think
Only
Biden's going to run.
If there's a reason. Somebody
maybe
like
if they kill Biden
or well, I was going to be
if they Clinton Biden,
it's going to be a little nicer.
If they Clinton Biden, then
why doesn't he just call Clinton? Say, hey, I got a job for you.
We got a guy.
I got a job for you.
But I think he's obviously going to run for president at some point. I think he's trying to get out of California. But there were so many buzzwords used, like gun safety rather than gun control, and I think he's really, really trying to shore up his base. I think he's really – I don't think he cares – right now he doesn't care about the other side of the aisle. Right now he's trying to get every Democrat on his side that he possibly can because, in the past couple of weeks we've talked about how the left is jettisoning him, basically saying, I don't really like this guy. He's screwing things up. So I think he's trying to hit the high points. I don't know. By the way, did you know that he walked out of this debate early?
No.
There was supposed to be another half hour or so.
Who walked out?
Newsom. And they went to a commercial break, and during a commercial break they said, oh, no, we thought it was only going to be this long.
Oh, so that's why Hannity came back and said they were real busy. They had appointments they had to go to, and they ended it.
Yeah, apparently his wife.
Leave California early.
Apparently his wife came out on stage and said, oh, no, we had this other thing scheduled. What do you have scheduled? What do you have scheduled that's more important than a national debate? And by the way, saying, oh, well, we didn't think it was going to be this long. We thought it was. I think he got out all his talking points. They were all left of center talking points. They were all phrases that Democrats embrace. And I think he's trying very hard to shore up the base so that they're all with him again. The narrative was that it was a setup. That's what he's telling people, is that it was unfair and it was a setup and all this other crap. Anyway, I really don't – I don't know where he gets the gall. It's amazing. The other thing he did well, whether or not you like this tactic or not, is when he had nothing, he went personal. And when the other guy when Ron DeSantis went a little personal, he took the high road. So he'd attack Ron. He was, Ron was like, "Hey, you have way more crime than we do," and he would attack him personally, like, "Oh, you're behind in the polls, and you wish you were Trump," and blah blah blah. He attacked him personally, and then when DeSantis said something like, "Hey, I got rid of these DAs, and Newsom won't get rid of the L.A. Gascon in L.A. Oh, how dare you attack a beautiful city like LA? You know what I mean? Like he was so put off that.
Because that's nothing. He couldn't defend Gascon.
He couldn't, but I think he did a really good. Again, if you look at the skill set, he did a good job in the debate because he really. I think he won on the skill set. He lost on the content. I think he should have lost on both. But I think that Ron, and unfortunately, people right of center. We just, there's not a good enough job done at pulling on heartstrings.
That's what they've been saying about DeSantis since day one.
Well, it's clear that it's DeSantis, but I think it's Republicans in general.
Well, Republicans aren't. Oh, by the way, did you hear your ladies is not going to rerun for head of the Democratic or the Republican Party?
What? What are you talking about?
What's her name?
I don't know.
Who's that lady that runs the Republican Party
here in San Diego?
No. The party. What's her name?
In California?
No.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The lady that runs the Republican Party.
I don't know, man. I'm sorry.
Can't think of her name. You know who it is.
I'm not a lady. Anyway.
All right, folks. Help Orange County gun owners get the right people elected in Orange County. How do you want to do that? Well, by becoming a member today. $10. Go to OCGunowners.com/join. Now's the time to join the growing number of gun owners who care and want to protect our Second Amendment rights. Go to OCGunowners.com/join and become a member today.
Yeah. Today. Subscribe and win. Subscribe to our email list and win some swag. This week's winner is Rufino Corretto. My friend, thank you so much. Rufino, I hope I'm saying you're right. That's right? Rufino?
That would be my guess. Rufino?
Yeah, Rufino. Email prizes at gunownersradio.com to claim your T-shirt or hat. All you got to do is email prizes. It's at gunownersradio.com. Claim your T-shirt or hat. Rufino, make sure that you let him know where to ship it and what size you wear, because that's pretty important stuff. Right? That's important.
That's it.
Have you seen the new hats?
I have.
They look good, don't they?
Yeah.
He's got a black on black. Of course, Matt is over there sexily modeling the white on black, white logo on black. I think it looks really good.
That's it.
Veteran shooting social recap. It was very cool. Patrick at Discount Gun Mart, can't thank you enough. You're always so helpful. But yeah, we had, we had like a dozen vets, and we had about another dozen mentors who I think were almost all vets as well.
Awesome.
It's kind of cool. It was a veterans outreach event. The idea being that November has Veterans Day.
It does.
But it's kind of turned into Veterans Month.
As it should.
And so we decided to do some outreach. We really haven't done a lot of dedicated veterans outreach, but we have a lot of veterans, I'm finding.
That's it. Well, it's a military town.
It's a military town.
Yep.
A lot of our members and volunteers and followers and supporters and donors, a lot of them are veterans. But we haven't actually gone out to veterans groups, and said, hey, come be a member. And one of the things that I said was, what I hear from veterans a lot and what I read about a lot is that whatever the reason is that they joined the military, they found in the military camaraderie and purpose.
Absolutely.
And then they leave the military and they lose both.
Right.
And I think that's difficult because, man, there isn't a lot of – in the corporate world, let's just be totally honest, there are a lot of jobs out there where you do not have camaraderie.
No.
And you definitely don't have purpose.
The term office politics exists for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, you're just a cog of the wheel. I get it, man. I was in banking for 16 years. So we basically said, hey, look, this is something that we think you guys could be interested in. So that's what we did. We did a veterans outreach event, and it went really, really well. And then we took them over to Coronado Brewing, which is about a block away from DGM. We had a beer. Dave.
You should.
Yeah.
When's the next one?
Yeah, she's thirsty.
I don't know. November? I mean, maybe we should do this every Veterans Day-ish, you know, not on Veterans Day, but I think it went well enough that we'll probably do so. We had like this smorgasbord of guns. You know, everybody brought a cool gun. So I don't know. Where were you, Dave? You're a veteran.
Where was I?
Yeah,
During what?
our Veterans Outreach event.
I wasn't invited.
You always say that.
I wasn't invited.
You get the same emails everybody else gets.
No,
Everybody was invited.
Where were you? At a brewery?
Discount Gun Mart. No, I went to a brewery.
I don't go there.
You want to hear an embarrassing story?
Oh, heck yeah! When you got your
This
foot
is horrible.
massage.
We have enough room.
Yeah, we always got room for an embarrassing story from you.
So, so I go to this place.
You should see how red his face
I
is
know.
right now.
It is.
I
red.
go.
Look at that.
I hadn't been there in a while. And they
Where?
have this. I don't want to tell you because I don't want to. It's a good place, but I had a negative experience. So, they have this one particular dish that I like. I hadn't been there in a long time, and I'm like, man, I should go there. Well, they've changed owners, and they opened it up a little bit more. They changed the way the place is run. Okay, and I walk in, and I'm looking around. And it doesn't look like it used to look, right? So I'm trying to kind of figure out, get my bearings. And I realize that there's this bar section and there's this restaurant section. And I'm kind of stumbling around. And there are flyers on all the tables. And so I look at one of the flyers, and it's got a QR code, to pull up a menu.
That's for the menu.
Which I hate.
I hate that, too.
And then it had this note basically saying, look, go to the bar, order the food, and then we'll bring it to you. And I'm like, oh, man.
And you got to pay that way, too.
Yeah, and I just didn't want to do that because I wanted what I wanted, and I may or may not want something else, and I didn't want to walk back up there. And, so I get this look on my face, right? And I'm just like, I'm just like disgusted, and I don't want to deal with this crap. And, oh, God, right?
Right. I'm right there with you.
So then I realize, I look up. So I'm looking at this flyer on this table. Okay. And I look up and I realize two things. I'm really close to this couple's table. Like the flyer I'm looking at is right on this couple's table.
It's on their table?
So, and they're like clearly on a date. They're sitting on the same side of the table, like facing me.
And they're looking at
and
you.
I'm like sitting there with this horrible scowl, disgusted look on my face. Oh, it gets worse. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm. I don't think I am, but go ahead.
So I turn around and start walking away, and it occurs to me it was an interracial couple. It was he was black, she was white.
Oh.
So I start walking away, and immediately, within a fraction of a second, I realize
what you thought.
Some white guy in East County walks in, sees them, scowls in disgust, turns around and walks away. And I didn't know what to do with myself.
What did you do?
I turn around. I went right back to him, and I said, oh, my God. I'm so sorry. It looks like I just walked up to you and had this disgusted look on my face and walked away. And I explained to him. I'm like, I didn't realize you had to go up to the bar. I've been here before, and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, the other part is, as I was turning around, the guy says to me, he goes, you okay? But it wasn't like, I can't quite get the tone right. But it was like he was not happy with me. You okay? It was like you okay?
Was it like you okay? Are you feeling?
It wasn't like hey, are you okay? It was are you okay? Because you just gave us Yeah. So anyway, I turn around and I start talking. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I just had this look on my face, and gosh, I'm so sorry. I said I don't want to go up to the bar. Super nice couple. They were just like, oh, it's not a big deal. You just go up to the bar. It's actually really good food. It's one of our favorite places. Super nice to me. Meanwhile, like I'm on the ground, like groveling. No, I wasn't.
Did you at least buy him a drink?
No, I just apologized profusely and said,
you buy
here's
him
what
a
I did.
drink.
So embarrassed though.
You have to tell us where on the break.
Maybe I'll tell you on the break, but. And it wasn't. I would have been embarrassed no matter what.
Well, yeah, you don't walk up to somebody's.
You don't want to just walk
table.
up to somebody's table. But the fact that there was an interracial couple just hit. Growing up in the South in the '80s. I mean, there's still that.
How many places did you grow up? Hawaii, the South,
Wisconsin,
Florida, Wisconsin,
Hawaii. It was weird because.
Did you ever grow up?
It was weird because in Florida. I watched and heard and saw how negatively minorities were treated, specifically blacks. It was black and white. There really wasn't anything else. There Hispanics, Asians, very, very few. It was black and white in Florida. And then I moved to, and there was a little bit of, my last name's Jewish, which I didn't really even know at the time. And there was a little bit of that. There was a little bit of, you know, little.
We've asked you twice if you're Jewish.
I'm not Jewish. My grandfather was. So
well, wait, then that makes you Jewish.
Well, just ish. I'm just Jewish.
Oh, okay.
so then I moved to Hawaii, and then I'm the minority in Hawaii. White guys are the minority in Hawaii.
That's true. Yeah.
And it was totally like shoe on the other foot. But what I learned in Florida and Hawaii is that yes, there are people with preconceived notions who can be rude and mean. But I also learned that if you have a good personality and are polite and nice, that goes a long way no matter where you are.
And you can have pineapple on a pizza.
That's right.
I had that just today.
That's right.
Huh?
I had it just today.
Was it good?
Absolutely.
You like pineapple
I
on a
love
pizza?
it. It's the best topping ever.
Anyway, that's my story. I don't know why I told that on.
Well, because you were compelled.
So embarrassed.
And that's the kind of guy you are.
Just walk up to a table and just, I'm out of here.
20
Blah.
bucks says they're still talking about it. Not Me is for women, by women, and is designed to help women with training, purchasing a gun, and getting a concealed carry permit. And guess what? It's totally free. If you're a woman or you know a woman who needs help, have her sign up and go, and we will give her the help she needs. To sign up, go to notmesd.org, notmesd.org.
All right. Guess what it's time for?
Curtain call.
The latest news stories. Insightful perspectives. It's time for Curtain Call.
I love that.
I do too.
Brandon's the best.
He is.
So I know Sam said he didn't want intro, but I think
I think
Brandon,
so.
I think needs to do it.
Yeah, Brendan, you get some intro music for Sam today?
No, I by request of Sam, no, I don't.
You've got like 25 minutes.
Never listen to Sam.
No, there's got to be.
It's gotta be something. Well, let's
Okay.
I'll talk
Next week I'll do it,
No,
but
no,
I
you're
know
not
Sam's
doing-
going to be
You're
disappointed.
not doing anything. Look for something with Sam.
Okay, I will.
All right.
I'm trying to think.
What are we doing here?
All right. Well, we got a curtain call.
Curtain call.
So the way this came about is, I was going through just kind of, killing some time on YouTube on my phone, just, and I came across this video, and it was just done as one of those little shorts. So it was a really quick, like a 10-second video, but it really made me think of a lot of things that I thought were worthy of discussion, that kind of brought up some good points. So in this video, it was just a woman. It was someone's like ring camera or some type of surveillance camera, just footage from the outside of her home. And it's night. You can see that it's dark. There's no timestamp though. There's no context. There's no article. I don't know if these people were caught. I don't know anything other than that, other than what you see in the video itself. But so it's dark. There's a woman and she's wearing a coat. She's got her purse. And she's in her front yard, and these two, much like the homeowner in LA, much in that same fashion, two people dressed all in black. They had some type of black covering on their head as well, came running up to her. One of them had a gun that you could visibly see. The other one I couldn't tell. And he came just running right up to her, and he's hollering, about give me your keys, give me your keys. The moment that this woman saw her and this guy coming her way, she starts screaming.
Jeez.
Screaming bloody murder. She's hollering and she's screaming high pitched a lot at the top of her voice. And this guy is just, she's panicking. And these guys are saying, give us your keys. We want your keys. They want her keys. They want to take her car. They want to get in her home or the garage to get the other vehicle. And it really made me think, a lot of people are not comfortable carrying a firearm. Okay. And that, and to everyone their own.
Not comfortable.
Not comfortable.
They carry one, but they're not trained enough, or they don't feel like they should carry a firearm.
They don't. I hear from a lot of people that they respect the decision for people that do, but it's not for them, and they don't feel that they could, or that they should, or that they don't think that they need it. And the heading, ironically, on this video is I guess who's our very next gun owner, implying this woman. So what it is a lot of people out there feel that they can't or won't or shouldn't or don't need to, whether it's a firearm or maybe taking self-defense classes or maybe even carrying pepper spray. They just don't think that it's going to happen to them. And this woman is screaming bloody murder. You can see other people's houses in this video, so you know that she has nearby neighbors. Guess who comes to her aid?
Who?
Nobody.
I was going to say, I wouldn't think.
Not a single house lights up. No one comes.
That's scary.
They eventually do get her keys. You can see that they get her garage door open. And then eventually there's, and you can tell there's a jump in time. you know, there's no timestamp to really verify how long, but eventually I'm assuming it's her husband. He comes out and he just is telling these guys, take the car. He's giving them the keys to everything that they want. Take it. And they just keep wanting more and more and more. She's still screaming and no one's coming to her aid. No hint, you know, no indication of, no police, nobody arrived. And the video unfortunately just ends there, but it really just gave me some pause and to think, if you're not going to be your own first responder, right? You can't rely on somebody else either. And she just, I couldn't imagine that fear.
Yeah, I did see that. It was, the other thing that occurred to me is, you know, you talk to people who are like, I don't have my permit, but, you know, I live in a nice neighborhood. This was a nice neighborhood.
This was a nice neighborhood.
Yeah.
And where are they going to go find the nice cars? They're going to find the nice cars in the nice neighborhoods.
Wow.
Right.
I did see that. She was terrified.
She was. She literally fell on the ground and was just rolling and screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she panicked. They wanted what she had. She couldn't think to how to get it to him because she was too panicked.
Jeez.
But, you know.
What do you think? What are your thoughts?
So it just, you know, I really would like to just encourage people to kind of put some thought into it. If you don't feel that carrying a firearm is for you, well, have you gotten any training to see? Because a lot of these people have never taken the steps to get training or even to learn anything about firearms. They just simply say that because they don't understand it, they fear it. It's not for them. And that's very legitimate for some people. Yeah. There are some people that honestly I'm okay with them not, you know, when you see some people handle things.
Well, if you don't want to take it seriously, you don't want to take the time to practice.
Right.
Then I agree with you.
Yeah,
Don't carry a firearm.
Exactly. But, you know, and firearm is not the one answer to everything, like we were talking about earlier with Dave. It's not a pass to do what you want, go where you want, you know, and feel free and clear in everything that you do. But it should be something that I would highly encourage people to give some consideration to. If you're not comfortable, get some training to feel comfortable. Yeah. Get to that point. I
don't know how many people out there, realistically, what percentage of the population truly, you know, can't carry a firearm. You know what I mean?
You mean like a prohibited possessor?
No, no. I mean, I guess what I'm saying is people that are just like, or like you were saying, there are people I know or people you know, people you've seen, and you think to yourself, yeah, that person probably shouldn't be carrying a firearm. They could. It's just that they don't put the effort and time into training. I think everybody.
And until it seems to be until they're the victim or close to someone who is a victim, they don't think that it's going to happen to them. They don't think that they need to.
Nobody thinks it's
right. You don't need it until you do.
Just over the weekend, I had yet another call from a defensive gun use guy. He was almost attacked. I can't really give the details, but I'll give what I can. He was almost attacked, but he had a gun, so he wasn't attacked. And then the attackers, plural, called the cops on him. There's a lot to talk about. I guarantee you in maybe 5-6 months we're going to talk about this specifically. But, you know, I was like, well, did you have USCCA? Did you have, you know, one of these programs to help pay for the legal fees? No, because he didn't think it was going to happen to him.
Right.
And it's just, yeah, especially if you're a gun owner, you better look into that kind of thing.
Right.
You better look into training. But if you're a CCW holder,
absolutely,
and you're not training, and you're you know, and making sure that you're comfortable and knowledgeable, and making sure that you have some of these you know, legal protection services, you're just crazy. I mean, it's just nuts.
Absolutely.
You know,
and you got to have the insurance.
You got to have the insurance. But so many people I hear, I just didn't think it was going to happen to me.
Mm-hmm. You know, you think you can rely upon, well, you know, I'll just call the police. I'll just call
911. Why did you get a CCW if you didn't think it was going to happen to you?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know.
So what do you think, it's always the most popular day to get a security system is the day after you get robbed, right?
Absolutely. That's
it. The most popular, you know, like what was the caption? Like, you know, our next gun owner or something like that?
Yeah, look at your very next gun owner.
Yeah. Because, you know, too bad they didn't get the gun, you know, the day prior.
Right.
Things would have been different.
Absolutely.
Be proactive, not reactive.
Now, in this situation, had she been carrying, do you think she could have successfully defended herself?
If she had the training.
Well, okay, seeing how she handled it. I mean, training absolutely would go a long way, but seeing how she handled it, she wasn't mentally prepared to be attacked. She wasn't prepared.
But don't you think training gives you confidence?
It does. But there's a whole
She
lot
had
more.
no confidence.
She didn't, and she had no situational awareness either. So
Right.
she was just kind of aloof.
But if she had been doing her training and going away once a month, I'll just use it as an example, I think it would have been a different scenario.
Potentially. I mean,
And
so
her husband may have come out quicker.
yeah, that kind of floored me. So she's out there screaming. There's no way. I don't see how he couldn't hear.
You
he
heard
didn't
it.
come out sooner.
Well, I want to hear his side of the story because
That's it.
Was calling.
So, Dave, I think what you're saying, Dave, is okay. So this lady was terrified and fell apart.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
But if she had a gun on her, if she was armed and had gone through some training, she might not have fallen apart.
I don't think she would have fallen apart.
Like I think part of the figuring into the calculus of falling apart is I don't have any way to defend myself.
No confidence.
But when you decide to get a gun, get a CCW, and do your training,
And the training is critical.
then all of a sudden when it does happen, all of the training and all of that will kick in.
Yeah,
I would think.
that fear would turn into
protection.
competence.
And competence. Exactly.
And there's different types of training. So if
Yes.
you do that defensive tactical training, that's where that comes into play.
Right.
And a lot of people don't take those steps. They do more marksmanship.
Well, because they
Right.
think, okay, I got a gun. I don't need any training.
I'll figure it out when I need it.
Right. I've seen enough TV. I watched John Wick.
Even if you don't have enough training,
Does anybody?
I'd yeah. But I mean, even if you have, even if you've only gotten the minimal amount of training, if you're in some kind of situation, I'd much rather be able to defend myself,
Right.
even if I wasn't sufficiently trained. I mean, it is such a equalizer. It levels the playing field so much.
And look how traumatized you would be if you didn't have a gun and didn't have training. And even if you got away with it and they didn't hurt you,
Yeah.
just think how traumatized you would be. You think, I mean, I'm serious. I bet she doesn't sleep good at night to this day.
Well, yeah, I think it's just happened.
You should feel safe in your castle, right? You should feel safe
But
in the,
I bet you
there in
she's-
your own home. And
She jumps at the slightest. Who was that guy that we used to know that did a gun show? Somebody thought he broke a window in his house. Wasn't that you?
That was me.
And you shot up the whole wall.
I didn't shoot anything.
You blew the whole
And I'm
wall.
not
up.
afraid of anything.
Cats.
I'm not afraid of cats.
Yes, you are.
I just don't. We just don't see eye to eye.
Let's not. Yeah, no kidding.
It's a personality
Yeah.
conflict between me and cats.
Yeah, I know.
Cats are jerks.
That's 1-800-MIKE. 1-800-MIKE for all hate mail.
See who else I can make mad.
I don't know. Let's
That
see.
was interesting. It's funny. As you were describing that, I realized I saw that. I think I just saw it last night when I was thumbing through
What do you guys all thumb
Yes.
through the same YouTubes?
YouTube, probably.
Pretty much.
Is that during your foot massage?
I wasn't kidding.
So I did find a follow-up to the story. The
Okay.
whole thing happened in Chicago, it says.
Ooh.
Of course it did.
They did not find the actual robbers. However, they did find an accomplice to the robbers who they just arrested, and she is being charged with a misdemeanor charge for criminal trespassing. They have still not recovered the stolen vehicle either, as well. And one last thing to mention, their 12-year-old daughter was just at the steps of the door from the front steps, and when she saw her mom get punched, that's when she ran inside screaming. So part of the screams that you're hearing apparently
you
in the
didn't tell us
video.
about that
I
punch.
didn't know about that. On the video, I couldn't see that.
You got
I
punched.
did not see that.
It's crazy.
That's it.
It's too bad. She must be terrified too. Well, I'm glad that they're okay, and it sounds like justice is slowly being served.
Very slowly. Hey, if you're a gun owner,
Yes.
and if you've ever need to use your gun to protect yourself or a loved one, you need legal protection. Even if you do everything right, even if you're 100% justified, you should be prepared for the legal battle after your self-defense battle. We've seen it right here in San Diego where an innocent man showed his firearm to discourage a violent attacker, and he had to spend thousands of dollars in legal fees to restore his freedoms and rights. That's why you need firearms legal protection. When you join, you get uncapped legal protection for self-defense for civil or criminal cases with a 24/7 hotline. Joining is real easy. Just go to firearmslegal.com and click on Become a Member. Use code GOR for a discount. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing that you are protected if you ever involved in a self-defense incident. Remember, firearmslegal.com and use the discount code GOR. R. I know it's the wrong one.
That's all right. They get extra plugs.
So that's good. Extra.
What are you driving this week?
You didn't see it out there?
I didn't see
No,
it.
I didn't.
That baby blue Mustang
A Mustang.
5.0.
I tried not to hit it.
I appreciate it. And I did everything humanly possible to get the mileage it said.
And
It said 24 on the highway, and I've got 23.5.
not bad.
I did everything but suck the tailpipe to get 24.
Does that help?
I couldn't get it to 24 to save my life.
What do you think? I know this is a gun show. We're about to talk about cars. What do you think about electric cars?
Let me tell you something that I just have been telling people lately.
Yeah.
Back in the day when cars went, or we went from horses
Yeah.
to cars,
Yep.
there were no gas stations.
This is, yeah. Keep
There
going.
There were no mechanics.
I was just telling Rich this. Keep going.
There were
going.
no roads.
Preach it.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So what do? Do we learn anything from our past errors? We come into the electric car world.
Yeah.
There's no charging stations.
Yeah.
There's no range, and they're stupid expensive. At least Henry Ford sold the Model T for under $800.
Yeah.
So everybody could afford one. But we're doing the same thing. Ford just lost $3 billion last year, or 23. They're on track to lose $4 billion.
Jeez.
Cars on the lot usually don't sit on the lot for more than 90 days, and they flip them. Electric vehicles are sitting on the lot for over a year.
Jeez.
300 dealers sent a letter to Biden saying, stop it.
Wait. What do they want them to stop?
Stop pushing electric cars. Nobody's buying them. Everybody that was financially had the wherewithal to buy an electric car has purchased electric car. You're not going to buy one. I'm not going to buy one. Alicia's not going to buy one. Rich isn't going to buy. Nobody's going to buy them. We can't afford them.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. We can't. And they're trying to stuff them down our throat. And nobody likes anything stuffed down their throat.
They don't, but I think they're better. I think the electric vehicles
They
are
are
better.
better. I'm not saying,
But
we will get to there.
Yeah,
but
'cause-
you got to do your infrastructure. You got to build a $10,000 electric
right.
car.
Yep. Because they've had a 100-year head start.
That's exactly right. And they don't remember anything.
Yeah, and it's but I think it makes me, because really the success of gas was marketing.
Dude, not only that, guess what? Why are they getting rid of gas cars? Because they pollute. No, they don't. If you tailpipe any one of these newer cars or new car, the tailpipe emissions are zero.
Yeah, I don't really care about the emissions. I'm not a
But
big,
I mean, this is their whole reason for doing it.
yeah.
But
I think it's a mistake.
all right, here you go.
We can't
Go-
even air condition our homes, but they want us to power our cars.
Exactly. Okay, we're paying $5 a gallon for gas, right? If you take an electric vehicle and you compute what it would cost from a gas point of view,
Right.
$17 a gallon.
I just think it's better. I think we've maxed out. I don't think gas cars aren't getting any better. Like what's a 0 to 60? But at this point, what's a 0 to 60 time at this point?
Well,
3 seconds,
4
4
to 6.
seconds. But so we're not getting any better. You know what I mean?
But what's the point?
Yeah, well, exactly. But that's why.
That's why they're saying, "Oh, electric car, you can go 0 to 60 in 3 seconds."
Well,
so what?
Yeah, that doesn't matter. But I think that I really do think that electric's the future. Okay. It's just the
next time you get up early in the morning, which you do on a regular basis, drive through Mission Valley, and there's a big charging station off to the north side of I-8, right down by the Parkway or the mall. I didn't see it because I never get up that early, but a buddy of mine blew through there and counted 46 electric cars in line to charge up.
Oh, I hear you.
Because all the apartment complexes where those cars live have no chargers.
Of course. And I think they got to fix that, though. But I think that the quality of an electric car and what the concept of an electric car,
almost.
Superior.
Did you see where they came out and they said, do not park your electric car in a garage?
No. Why?
Yep.
It'll blow up?
Yeah.
It'll catch
So
fire.
I think they'll fix that.
Well,
you know what
eventually.
I mean? But I mean, you used to have to crank, a
and
car.
just for the hell of it,
I know,
but just for the hell of it, call your insurance company up and say, I'm thinking about buying an electric vehicle.
I know, but like I said, they had 100-year head start.
I
They're gonna
said,
fix all this.
I totally 1,000% agree.
They'll fix it.
Did you know, I read a book, Horatio, I can't think of his last name, drove from San Francisco to Chicago in 1912. And he was in a gas-powered car, okay? The only place he could get gas is in the farmland, in the farms.
Right.
because the farmers used it for their implements, what have you. Paying back then $8 a gallon for gas.
Well, they'll get
$8,
there.
which is probably what, $30, $40, $50 a gallon today. You're right, they're going to get there.
But it's turned. The thing that I don't like is, and again, I exited this whole left versus right, Republican versus Democrat thing. That ain't me. That's the rest of the world. You guys can deal with that all you want. That's not me.
I agree.
But I think there are too many. It's like Republicans don't like electric cars, and Democrats
love them.
Like that's not.
It's stupid.
So I'm not bogged down by that perception, and I realized, wow, with the electric cars this whole thing's way better.
Audrey was going down the road and she seen an electric car going 30 miles an hour, and there was a truck behind her with a cord going into the car, and there was a generator in the back of the truck.
A gas-powered generator?
Trying to get this guy home because his electricity, he ran out of juice.
Those are all solvable.
I agree they're solvable, but don't shove it down our throat.
I'm not shoving it.
But
when you turn
the administration is, and Kerry is, what they needed to do is they needed to roll it out slow and easy.
Yeah, let the market work.
Should have continued to drill, baby drill.
Yep.
I could just go on and on and
I'd
on.
buy. So you were asked, when am I turning my Jeep? I love my Jeep.
Why would you get rid of it?
I'm not going to get rid of it. But if I were going to buy it, I think my next vehicle, I would probably buy. I mean, I would prefer an electric vehicle. I just don't know what it would be. I guess what I'm saying is other factors would keep me from buying an electric vehicle.
You are the worst person to buy an electric car.
Why?
You don't live in a home where you would need solar panels
I'm
and
not
a level
buy it
2
now.
charger.
So it would be other factors, though. What I would do is I'd be like, I'm going to look at an electric car first, but if I can't find one that's comfortable, if I can't find one that's blah,
That's
blah, blah,
the
blah,
last
blah,
thing you should worry about.
Well, but this year.
This year? You're not buying one this year.
That's what I'm saying.
You're not even buying one
All right,
next
we're moving
year.
on. You're driving me crazy.
Hey, you're not even going to buy one for the next 20 years.
Why?
As long as you live this
I don't know.
romantic life.
You're right. But I'm saying, like, I don't know when I'm going to buy my next vehicle, but I think that the
gas prices, would that make a decision?
We're moving on.
What if it went to $10 a gallon?
I'm going to jump over this desk and I'm going to strangle you.
What if it went to $10 a gallon?
With your own mustache, I'm going to strangle you.
Would that push you to electric?
Okay, so I got to touch on this before we go and talk to Sam. The Gun Safety Accountability Act.
What's that?
Sounds
the
responsible.
Gun Safety Accountability
I don't think I'm
Act.
aware of that one.
If you receive our email, you saw the what it was. We put it out on our email on Thursday. We put a link to the actual.
It's not even on my paperwork.
It's on the actual to the proposal, and what it is it's actually going to be on the ballot in November. The ballot is 2024 November. There's going to be a vote on the Gun Safety Accountability Act. Now, there's a lot of pieces to this. The Gun Safety Accountability Act will, number one, everyone's going to have to pay taxes on their guns, like big.
Yeah.
Like basically, if you have 3, 4, 5 guns, you're going to be paying a couple $100 a year. The whole schedule is on our email. But there's a number of other things. I mean, it is buried in the.
That's $4.45.
I know. Well, you read the wrong commercial anyway. So, this thing's going to be an edge. So what do we do? Well, it's going to be on the ballot. So that means that California voters are going to be able to vote on it. If it passes, we're going to have to take it to court.
How's it going to be written? Will it be confusing?
Yeah. Well, that's the title of it. People are going to. Are you going to the Gun Safety Accountability Act?
But, I mean, is it going to be written if you say, oh, yes is no and no is yes?
I don't know about that, but just that title. I mean, it's got absolutely nothing to do with gun safety accountability.
I found their website. It's password protected. I can't get in.
I don't know why.
Geez, I wonder why. We don't want you to know anything.
But this is an initiative. It's a proposition. So it's a voter initiative.
This is Newsom?
And it's he's a big part of it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be on the ballot. We're going to have to educate people. That's how you. When we can't keep it from the ballot, right? We can't, what we have to do is educate people and say, hey, you don't want to vote for this thing.
Boy, you're going to be on
you don't
TV
want to
a lot.
vote for this thing. Mm-hmm. Probably going to be on TV a lot talking, but I'm going to need a lot of help. People are going to have to, you're going to have to, I was going to say you have to talk about it at Thanksgiving Day table. By the time you get Thanksgiving, it's going to be over. I mean, this is going to be November 8th or whatever.
Called the mile.
Or 6th. Or, yeah.
Thanksgiving's over.
It is. That's what I'm saying. So we got to. You have got to talk to people about this. We're going to do more segments on it. We're going to talk about how horrible it is. And then the other important thing, we were beating up on poor Ron DeSantis, even though he's a great guy and he's got great ideas. We were beating up on the way he presented himself. So we're not just going to talk about the act. We're not just going to talk about what's in it, but we're going to talk about how to talk about it, which I think is probably even more important than knowing every little nuance and every little piece of what to talk about. We're going to teach you how to talk about it.
All right, hold that thought.
Is Newsom holding it?
Hey,
yes.
I want to throw this commercial in because I did blow it. Okay. A lot of companies waste an enormous amount of money in marketing designs. Excellent photos are beautiful, and your website looks great, but it's not getting customers. Why? Because you just don't have the right words to get people to buy. But now you can fix that with Sage Tree. Sage Tree can help you with the words to make it easy for your customers to understand what you do and how to buy from you. Stop wasting money today and schedule a call. Getting started is real easy. Go to sagetree.com, click on the schedule an appointment button. That's sagetree.com, and click on the schedule an appointment button. This is Gun Owners Radio, FM 96.1 AM 1170.
The answer.
Hey, if you want to advertise on Gun Owners Radio, it's real easy.
That is.
Just to go to gunownersradio.com.
And Dave will read it twice.
And I'll read it twice, maybe 3 times. Maybe I won't read it at all.
Who knows?
All right. So
it's a way to support the show. It's a way to support the cause. Another way to support the cause, support the people who advertise on this show. That's right,
because without it, we wouldn't be here.
That's right.
So we're going to go right straight to Sam?
Yeah, he's going to nail this.
He isn't. Well,
did you see the question?
Yeah, he's going
to nail this.
Right.
I'd put money on this.
Pressure.
I'd give you odds. I'd give you 5-1 odds.
Pressure.
All right, if he gets it right, you owe me a Coke.
Okay.
If he gets it wrong, I owe you 5 Cokes.
I don't drink Coke.
5-1. You don't. What do you drink? Sarsaparillas?
Lately, water.
Okay. If he gets it right,
I get 5 bottles of water.
I get some water.
I know where
he
the
gets it right, wrong.
Mike's going to go to our water fridge. I got it. I don't know how.
Wait a minute. I got a deal.
All right.
No.
I could have gotten this. This is like the first question in 7 years
this.
where I'm pretty confident I could have got it.
Are you ready, Sam, before we totally ruin this whole thing?
Sam, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. Sam, the gunman. This segment is called Stump My Nephew. We found out years ago that my nephew Sam is particularly good at gun trivia. So if you send us a question and we use it on the air, we'll give you a hat or a shirt. And if you stump my nephew, then you get a cool special prize, which I don't know what it's going to be, but we'll figure it out. This question, Sam, comes from a repeat offender. He asked the question last week as well. Peter from San Diego asks, what is a brown Bess?
Peter from San Diego, thanks for writing in. Again, brown Bess is a general term referring to British pattern flintlock muskets of the type that would have been seen on the opposing side in the American Revolution.
That's it.
That's exactly what it is. The brown Bess is the British flintlock musket that was employed by both the British and the Americans in the American Revolution. Recognized as one of the world's first modern firearm, it was in service for over a century, starting in 1722, when it became the standard gun of the British Empire. Before the brown Bess, soldiers brought their own guns to the battlefield. This made maintenance and ammunition resupply very, very, very difficult. It was also one of the first weapons to introduce a new idea, standardization. This is the basis for the standardization we see today in firearms like the AR pattern, where multiple manufacturers can produce a weapon but are compatible with the same ammunition and same parts from each other, actually. Mm-hmm. The brown Bess, the Americans had brown Besses.
Yes, they did.
But where'd they get them, Sam?
Mostly battlefield capture.
Yeah. Yeah. Another place, in your neck of the woods, have you been to Williamsburg in Virginia?
I have been to Williamsburg. It's mostly reconstructed. Not a lot of it is original, but I have been there a few times.
So you remember the governor's mansion?
It's been a while.
So my recollection is they in Williamsburg, which used to be the capital of Virginia. Virginia was the biggest colony. Kind of ran the 13 colonies. It was kind of the I don't know if it ran it, but it was the biggest. It was the big the big guy.
Virginia was the first one.
Virginia was the first. And they basically kicked the guy. They went to the governor's mansion and were like, "Look, we're tired of all this British stuff." And my understanding is, I think it was Patrick Henry actually kind of calmed the crowd down, and they all went away. But then the governor left in the dead of night. He fled. But then the colonists went back to the governor's mansion because for decoration he had I want to say hundreds of muskets. Right, he had hundreds of Brown Besses hanging in the mansion walls. Right.
Well, there you go.
So
they went. A good way to get arms.
Yes, they went and stole all his Brown Besses off the governor mansion's walls. So that's one way they got it. That's one way they were keeping and bearing arms. So
yeah, that's the thing about the Brown Bess that I think goes under-recognized is exactly as you said. It was important because of mass manufacturing and standardized parts. It was not the most technologically sophisticated long arm of its era. The British Army was not giving their soldiers the absolute pinnacle of technology, because what's more important than having a handful of really, really sophisticated examples of whatever it is, be it a long arm, be it a radio, be it a type of truck, anything like that. That's cool and all until you have to arm an entire army. What's better than that is being able to make something good enough in huge, enormous numbers. As long as it's good enough for most roles into which it will be pushed, being able to produce something in superior numbers tends to win the day. And you have to recall the British Empire spanned multiple continents, and this was at a time that it took 3 months just to cross the ocean. So whatever they could make as many of as possible, that was what they made. In fact, we could make superior quality arms in North America. The Kentucky rifle was an altogether superior weapon to the Brown Bess. It just was a lot more time consuming to make.
Yeah, it's one thing I like to point out, and that's another thing I learned at Williamsburg is the guns they were using to harvest a deer, far more capable, I guess is the best way of putting it, than a musket. These muskets were smoothbore. They were like shotguns. Mm-hmm. And the firearms they were using to like I said, harvest the deer you could bullseye at 150 yards, whereas a musket was really just a big old scatter gun. But that's the way they were fighting wars back then. So when people use this argument that they you shouldn't have military grade weapons. Well, back when the Second Amendment was written, the civilian firearms were actually superior. They shot longer. They were more accurate than the muskets that were being fought, on battlefields with. So, kind of destroys that argument, doesn't it?
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
And there's a whole interesting rabbit trail I could get down with the Militia Acts of 1791, or 1792 rather, but I don't have the time here.
There you go. Well, that's your next blog then, or maybe.
All right, I'll make it happen.
That'd be cool. Hey, did you get my text, my blog idea?
Yes, I did.
All right. Well, let me know what you think about that. What do you have one that you want to promote?
No, I would just like to mention the most recent one that went up is Gun Store Bingo.
It was good. Did you guys read it?
Not yet.
Oh, you got it. It's really good. It's really interesting. It's funny.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it's one of your. Oh yeah, I see you did. You did read it. I see that. It's
well, yeah. So
the text started
here's
off.
What I want.
The text started off to him. Jerky. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let me put out the call for everyone listening who actually works at a gun store. I want to hear your weird, crazy gun store stories, and I want to hear your stories of just not necessarily wild stuff, but something that happens often enough that you would put it on your bingo card. Send them in.
Nice.
There you go.
I like it.
Where do we send them?
Gun owners info at gunownersradio.com.
Okay, just checking.
And I also have a Facebook page that's just my first and last name, but I don't often check it.
Well, then that's not going to work.
Well, let's go. Then let's stick with info at gunownersradio.com.
Yeah, where we do.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, it was really funny, Sam. I enjoyed it. It took me a couple of days to get to it, and then I read it, and I laughed. I literally laughed out loud.
There's nothing that he likes more than laughing.
I do like laughing. I do. All right, my friend. Awesome job, Sam.
Thanks, and thanks for having me on, as always.
All right, buddy. Talk to you later.
Okay, I'm looking I'm looking at this bingo card.
Yeah? What do you think? It's pretty funny, isn't it?
Just at a glance, I've had them all so far. Yeah.
What's your favorite?
He hasn't read them all yet.
Oh, I haven't read them all yet.
See? Told you.
Yeah.
I can read minds.
Oh, the Glock caliber rounds. I like that
Glock
one.
caliber?
Yeah.
Well, they actually do have. They used to have. I don't know if they still have, but when Glock first came out, they had Gap rounds, Glock automatic pistol, and I don't think they took off at all. No. I don't even think they're selling them. But there were specific rounds. They're proprietary rounds that Glock came up with, Dave, and they didn't go anywhere.
Fly.
They didn't go anywhere. Well, I think they flew. They flew,
but not very well.
I don't think the ballistics. I don't think there was anything wrong with the ballistics. I think it was just like they were solving a problem that didn't exist.
Okay. Right? Scorecard.
Yes.
Newsom.
Yeah.
Score. Give me a grade.
Like overall, combine everything. His grade is,
right top of your head, it's already there.
D+.
What?
D+.
Okay. DeSantis?
B-.
Okay. Alisha?
I have to agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do I.
Yeah, I mean, the one
and
side
pretty much everybody graded it the same way you did.
Yeah.
I'm just curious what the left thought.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the ideas, I think that Newsom's ideas all stink, and he lied about them.
Right.
He did.
Well, the lying part is what bothers me.
He really, truly did. I mean, there wasn't like a perspective difference. I mean, I understood when there was a perspective difference, and I definitely side with Ron DeSantis' perspective more than
I still don't know why he did this. I still don't know why he agreed to do this.
Who, Ron?
No.
Well, like I said, he used so many buzzwords, and the way he conducted himself, I think he's trying to shore up his base. I think his base was starting to kind of fracture, and I think he was trying to shore up his base.
You really think it would shore it up? I mean, if they believed all the lies, yeah, you're right.
I think he said
it's pretty hard. I mean, you'll have to. I have to get grade Hannity.
Hannity? Oh, geez.
I gave him a C.
Really? Why?
Didn't control it. You let him run away with it.
I didn't like that, but I got to tell you, I hadn't even thought about grading him, which meant to me he did a good job of staying out of it. So I'd probably go a little higher than that,
really?
But not much.
He didn't control it. What about you, Lisa?
I don't like them talking over each other.
Oh, I hate that. And he's bad for that.
I give it an A for not having an audience there, so they wouldn't have to scream and shout at the candidates.
Did anybody ask you?
Oh, sorry. I'll say
Get back to the
bubbles.
Thanks for watching this episode from Gun Owners Radio. If you're watching mainstream media, you're not getting the truth about guns and the Second Amendment. Gun Owners Radio is the easiest way to stay on top of the Second Amendment fight, the fight for your self-defense rights. You can watch our live stream on YouTube every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, or if you're in San Diego, AM 1170, FM 96.1, The Answer. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform. Just do a search for Gun Owners Radio and you'll find our show. Don't forget to support our sponsors. Click on the links in the show notes and support the businesses that support your Second Amendment rights. Like and subscribe to help defend and restore the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.